Okay, hi everyone. I'm Liu, and today I will present my pitch for my music video for the song "Ghost Avenue" by the artist Eve. So let's first off start with who is Eve. Eve is technically the second largest Japanese artist on YouTube because he got over 5 million subscribers, and he debuted in 2009, and like many similar artists who participate in like any song culture, he came from covers, so this is called utaite culture, where they covers a popular Japanese song on a platform called Nico Nico, and he also known for producing various anime songs that's really popular. For example, the OP1, opening one of Jujutsu Kaisen named Kai Kai Kitan, and it's released in 2020. And his music also takes a lot of reference from pop culture and predominantly with movies and films. So Ghost Avenue is his latest digital single, and it was released in July 2025, and it's by yesterday it's got over 9 million views on YouTube, and following like the actual MV, like for the original MV, it also has like create this small dance trend in Japan, because like the main character got this little dance sequence that he do using like an animation. Yeah. So this is my artist branding identity. So I decided to do a kind of like I think this is basically a copy. I think it's like I borrow a lot of idea from another J-rock and J-pop duo named Yorushika. So it's a similar kind of aesthetic, but Owlicious is an indie rock pop duo. It's found in 2020, and it's also known for many individual production, and based on the convention of the industry, I also made them came from like the background of covering anime songs, and the duo is composed of idol. It's basically yeah. They are the anonymous vocalists, so they doesn't really show the face, and then the face of the group, which is Lewis, and he's also composed the pieces the vocalist sings. So they're like since they keep their life pretty private, and so Lewis adopted kind of like androgynous fashion choices, while the vocalist only appears in MVs with like their backs or like with their face covered, and used his digital avatar, this little thingy here, to appear in interviews and fan meetings. And despite the anonymity, like them being kind of distant, because well, you don't know them, you don't really know a lot about them like other stars who use their face as the star image. They still adopt a quite friendly kind of star persona, so they still interact a lot with their fans on social media and replying to comments and the likes. They're also known for like hand drawing their own merch and cover. Ghost Avenue is their latest single, and releases digitally and a limited time edition CD with original artworks and inserts. And it's follows the tradition of Japanese music with that kind of like upbeat and kind of funky music, despite having a dark and kind of melancholic lyrics. Okay, so let's go to the audience preference research. First, well, of course, since we're in Vietnam and my friends are mostly Vietnamese, you can clearly see that most of them came from Vietnam. Although there's some people who came from other parts of the world, because I have international friends like New Zealand and Canada and the like. Now let's came to the more important part, which is the demographic of our age and gender. So the majority of my audience are within like 13 to 17 age group, which is exactly the group I am aiming for. Always I wanted to aim more at this age group because the theme of the song is aimed towards like young adults rather than teenagers, but also like since teenagers grow really fast these days. So yeah, the team can actually be connected between these two kind of age group pretty easily. Luckily, there's no one under 13. Now came on the gender demographic. I kind of messed up the survey a little bit, so we got like 2 females. So technically, 50% of over 50% of the participants are female, which means that it's kind of skewed over to a more also like there's non-binary people and then one intersex guy. So it's kind of skewed more over to like the queer and the women community. So those kind of people who are like watching J-pop and J-rock and participating in this kind of themes rather than guys, which prefer I think more like shonen-ish themes rather than like darker or more existential themes, I suppose. Now let's come to the frequency of them watching MV and listening to music. Unsurprisingly, well, since this is a survey on whether you listen to music, more than 70% of the participants listen to music every day, and only a few of them, well, listen to it a few times per week or a little more. Like most of them listen to it every day. Meanwhile, with MV, well, I think most people don't really have the habit of watching like MV compared to actually just listening to music. So the data of them watching MV is actually kind of more spread out. So people have a tendency to actually listen just without watching the MV itself. So well, this could highlight the fact that MV could be like this spread out, so people could like MV, people could not like MV, kind of like that. So the gender preference. Unsurprisingly, most people like pop. And also the second most popular, I think, kind of surprising, is indie alternative, which also kind of align with my artist branding because they are an indie J-rock group, so they're not like belonging to large conglomerates, so they're self-released. And also Vocaloid and rock are being on the second place. So I think it's like the song itself got a lot of potential, and there's a lot of people who like it. But most people listening to music while they're relaxing, of course, when they're working. So I think this song would be fitting for listening when you're relaxing because, well, it's really upbeat, it's funky. It's also helps, for example, if you're working and you want something to kind of get your energy up. But if you don't understand the lyrics, that is. Now, most of my audience discovered new music on YouTube and also social media. So I will focus primarily my marketing strategies onto YouTube and social medias as well, they discovered the most. So I will use like marketing campaigns and create trends and hashtags on say TikToks and Instagram, and also like posting YouTube shorts on YouTube to gain more engagement with the actual MV. So this is what I compiled from. Well, I don't want to put the whole thing on. So what the theme of the song of the potential MV? So most of them actually describe the song like as being funky and rebellious. Some of them also describe it when they read the lyrics as bittersweet and idiosyncratic. So this is kind of like their like what they think of the song. So I'll let you listen to the song for a little bit just to see if you have the same opinion as my participants did. Right. Phim gì vậy? Hả? Phim gì vậy? Bài nhạc phim hay nhạc single? yeah, I think you probably have the same opinion as my participants. Because, yeah. Okay, so my chosen music video style is, I think I'm being a bit greedy, but of course, the two mains is abstract and narrative. So I want to have like kind of like have abstract aesthetic and visuals, and also like having a kind of narrative. I will introduce it to you later, just in the slide. But also like the performance, I don't really want to do dance. So I'm doing lip syncs as my performance. Yes. So the plot summary: a young adult getting into an existential crisis over, well, nothing, because teenagers are dramatic, they just get sad over nothing. And they compare themselves to kind of like a larva being stuck in a puddle and wasting away for, well, nothing, and then being stuck in a cycle of wanting to change and to break out. And despite that, they still, well, they do nothing. They don't do anything to kind of change the situation there. Alright, so the treatment. I'll outline my plan and casting, costuming, and other aspects. This is not open. Okay. Okay. So this little board show with kind of like the overall tone and theme of what I kind of wanted for my MP. So it's kind of like urbanish and also kind of like futuristic. And there's, well, I really like the TV and like multi-monitor kind of aesthetic. So it's kind of. Oh my god, I forgot to turn off the sound for this. Okay, that aside, so basically, I want to use like a monitor, kind of freeze zoom. So like the multi-monitor aesthetic, so all the TVs and vintage TVs, I could potentially achieve this using maybe Blender, using a lot of the TV models and stuff and then put it in After Effects. It's kind of like it's slowly zoom out and create this kind of like disorientating effect of like seeing through multiple monitors. Also, like in here, we got like kind of like there, like that. That's kind of like so. It's a freeze and slow zoom. It's created kind of because the song itself, despite the lyrics, it have this kind of funky, kind of upbeat thing. So I think having like that effect would increase its absurdity and create this feeling of like, oh wow, this is weird. Okay. I also wanted a kind of like say Instagram, TikTok. Okay, this is. I forgot to turn off the sound for all of them. Oh my god. Right. Yay! Thank you very much. Right. So I want to have this kind of a TikTok, Instagram storage sequence, especially for this part of the song. Simply because it's played with like kind of like prestige and parody. It's create this sense of like this intermixing between like the MV that's like it's create a parallel between kind of like the reality and immediate reality. It's create this kind of post-mortem feel, I think, and it can also like highlight the theme because a lot of like our despair and jealousy and like envy kind of contribute to we're seeing people being successful online, and so we can use this kind of thing to see how like social media can both like kind of improve and tearing down the person's spike. Right. So one of the things I want to also add to my so since one of my vocalists is an anonymous person. So I want to have like a kind of like faceless kind of effect, like this, like from this MV by Yorushika. So basically, there's a kind of cover thing where they edited it and it's covered the face. So it gives like a loss of identity. So play into the theme of the Ghost Avenue. So ghosts don't really have like sometimes people say the ghosts only have human faces. So we could use that as a way to like signify a loss of identity and also like anonymity, and it's also add like a level of like unreality to the MV because people have faces. And this one in particular is the kind of effect I want to put into my MV. So instead of like the more dreamy-ish, since it's like a urban gritty kind of MV, so I would much prefer this kind of like distortion effect, especially with like him walking through the streets and the lower frame rates making it kind of wonky and like playing the theme of wandering on the streets, like aka Ghost Avenue. Yeah. Also, I think this is a bit ambitious, and I'm not sure if I can make time for it. But if I can, I want to add kind of like a mixed media with 2D animation. So we're putting out like a 2D avatar in like a footage. Okay, doing this kind of give us like a kind of dreamy feeling, and it's also more into that of like that detachment from reality because it's ghost. And also like the theme of the song itself is also about like how someone might feel that like they do not belong and like their life is drifting. And so I think 2D animation is a really good addition to like the actual 3D animation and adds to like the sense of kind of like not belonging. So it's even more jarring than like simply adding. I mean I would do 3D animation if I can, but I'm really not that good at that. So I think 2D animation is more my forte, and I would want to add that to my MV. Oh. Other techniques I would also want to add. Static time lapse. This one I have been researching for a while. I really want to add it to my own MV. Oh wait, I'm not really sure which way would be appropriate to actually do it. So maybe I'll do more research. Other techniques that we want to add several cross-cutting, montage, still shots, such the standards. And some other like more important techniques, since it's like you hear the first part of the song, there's kind of a glitching kind of it's giving kind of liminal effect. So I would want to add like a glitching effect into the MV itself to kind of reflect that instrumental part of the song too. And since it's like a very wonky, very funky upbeat song, I want to also add like a shaky cam and to create a kind of like POV kind of unreliable narrator kind of shots. Yeah. Okay, so this is what my audience suggested for the MV's location. They're very helpful. I love them. So one of the first locations I scouted is a walking bridge. Since we have the metro all over Ho Chi Minh City now, there's a lot of walking bridge. But my house is nearby the metro station, and so there's another walking bridge next to the walking bridge of the metro, and that bridge is rarely used. So I think it will be a good place to film my MV. However, if I want to film it, say like in the morning, it will be more difficult to control, like because people would have to pass through the bridge to get to the other side, and it's a public space, and yeah, they will be walking by, and there's maybe disruption to the filming. Another location scout I've considered for like the urban setting is Moon Hut Street. It's an iconic street. I think everyone here knows it, and it's got like great open drive and pedestrian zone. Like if you want to do kind of like traffic and all that, it's a really good place. It's also helpful that's in District 1, so it's easy crew logistic. I think most people can easily reach it, and it's also have a very vibrant night look, see here, and there's also like a lot of cinematic potential. However, well, if you want to like do more like longer filming, you have to have film permits, and that's also like if you want to use drone, you have to file for drone approval, which is really and it's almost always busy. Like even in the morning and especially at night, it's extremely busy, and so it would be quite difficult to actually control crowds or filming if I want to like film under long shots. And especially Ho Chi Minh City's weather nowadays really rainy, like especially in the afternoon and the evenings. So I don't really think it's ideal. But if I want to do like a static time lapse, as I said before, I would consider this because you need a crowd for that kind of thing. Right. Now, this is the street next to my second house. The pro is that it's very quiet at night. It's highly aesthetic and it's really cinematic. Depends on the spots because it has like these kind of like what do you call it? Water spout thing. No idea. Yes, a geyser. It's got a really big geyser in the middle of like the old shop house and that. So it's pretty aesthetic. And however, well, I still do need a film permit if I want to film more like at night or longer. And plus I will all the bureaucratic stuff. And in the morning it's almost always busy. It's really busy in the morning, it's relatively quiet at night. And again, the weather is unpredictable, so I'm not really sure. Now, location scout. My house. This is not my house, but I want to use the bath of my house. Why? Because it's highly available as aesthetic. I think it's got like, because my house is pretty old, so it's one of like an older one, and it's giving it's easy to set up filming. However, the bathroom itself, well, since an old building is pretty small, it might be tight and have limited space to set up my actual filming equipment. And since, well, if I want to use like, I actually do have one of those big kind of like lights, but it will be difficult to set up inside the bathroom itself. And so maybe it'll be difficult to get proper lighting, and also doing dynamic shots in the bathroom, which is like pretty small, is pretty impossible. So, clothing, well, I did it in a rush. So I want to kind of create this kind of contrast between like one character, because like there's a scene of like going out in and out hallucinations. And so I want to signify that by say maybe giving like the non-hallucinate kind of like a more casual, very normal kind of type of dressing. Otherwise, on the hallucinations, give him a more over the top, more cosplay-y, like not kind of out of place kind of thing. So to just signify the detachment from reality and like how funky and weird it is. Yeah. Okay, my casting choice. Well, first, of course, me, because, well, it's me. I also want my cat to star in this MV, because he's cute, and I want to have a cat in the MV, symbolism, all that. And finally, my friends, if I can convince them. I am convincing them, so hopefully they will help me with filming, and maybe some of them will be starring in my MV too. Okay, that's it. Thank you for listening. Hey, does anyone have any questions?
I think it's all very clear and well researched, and I would love you to include some 2D animation and mixed media if you can manage your time for that. So maybe sitting down and making a quite a strict schedule for yourself in order to achieve everything that you want to achieve would be my recommendation. But I'm really looking forward to seeing the final outcome. Well done.